Everyone wants the prize, but few are willing to pay the price. Are you ready to find out if your dream is worth the sacrifice? Everyone wants the prize, but few are willing to pay the price. Are you ready to find out if your dream is worth the sacrifice? Big dreams are not free. They demand a price that must be paid in full before the reward is delivered. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has had to give up something in return. It might have been sleep, leisure, comfort, relationships, or even the security of the familiar, but the exchange was inevitable. You cannot expect to hold on to everything you have now and still gain something far greater tomorrow. The law of achievement demands an exchange, and that exchange is the sacrifice you are willing to make for the dream you carry in your heart. When the vision is big, the price is big, because the greater the goal, the more it asks of you in energy, focus, and dedication. The truth is, success is not built on luck or chance. It is built on intentional effort and the willingness to give up what is easy for what is necessary. Most people admire the result, but overlook the price that was paid to create it. They see the mansion, but not the years of work, the fame, but not the countless hours of practice, the wealth, but not the sleepless nights and risky decisions. Every story of greatness is also a story of sacrifice. It is not punishment, it is proof. Proof that you wanted the dream badly enough to put something else on the altar in its place. It is proof that you valued your vision above your current convenience. Without this proof, a dream remains a wish, and a wish is powerless to change your life. This price is often uncomfortable, and that discomfort is what keeps most people from reaching their true potential. They want the glory without the grind, the reward without the responsibility. But the world does not work that way. A farmer cannot expect a harvest without first planting seeds, tending the soil, and enduring the waiting period. In the same way, a dream will not bloom unless it is fed by consistent effort and watered with sacrifices you make daily. You must decide what you are willing to trade. Time that could be spent relaxing, money that could be spent on luxuries, energy that could be used on entertainment. Every choice either pays toward your dream or spends against it. The bigger the dream, the more it will demand. If you want to lead in your field, you must give more than those who are content with being average. If you want to build something that will outlast you, you must put in more work than those who are only thinking about the weekend. There is no shortcut, no discount, no easy pass. The price is the price, and it must be paid in full before the dream becomes reality. Those who understand this principle do not complain about the cost. They embrace it, knowing that every sacrifice made today is an investment in a future worth far more than anything they gave up along the way. Comfort is the silent enemy of progress. It feels warm, safe, and familiar, but it quietly traps you where you are, keeping you from where you could be. Big dreams require movement, and movement means leaving the comfort zone behind. You cannot grow in the same soil that has already given you all it can. If you want more, you must be willing to step into the unknown, to trade the predictable for the possible. This is why comfort and success do not coexist. One offers safety, the other demands risk. The very act of pursuing a big dream disrupts the routines, habits, and securities you have built around yourself. It forces you to let go of the easy life in exchange for a path filled with challenge, uncertainty, and change. When you choose comfort over challenge, you choose to remain the same. The mind becomes stagnant, the skills you possess remain untested, and the opportunities that could change your life pass you by. Comfort tells you there is no need to work late, no need to push harder, no need to try something new, because what you have is good enough. But good enough is the greatest threat to great. Big dreams do not survive in an environment where enough is acceptable. They only thrive where discomfort is embraced, where risks are taken, and where challenges are met with persistence instead of retreat. Stepping out of comfort is not about recklessly abandoning everything you know. It is about deliberately placing yourself in situations that force growth. It might mean waking up earlier than your body prefers, having difficult conversations you have been avoiding, or learning skills that challenge your patience. It may require you to fail repeatedly and to keep going despite the sting of those failures. Each act of leaving comfort builds resilience, and resilience is the fuel that sustains the pursuit of a big dream. Many people believe they are waiting for the right time to start, but what they are really doing is waiting for comfort to remain intact while still chasing something extraordinary. That time never comes. The right time exists only when you decide to act, even when the conditions are far from perfect. The pursuit of a dream will rarely, if ever, feel convenient. It will interrupt your schedule, test your patience, and challenge your identity. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can commit fully to the journey ahead. Every great achievement you admire began with someone who was willing to be uncomfortable for an extended period. Athletes train until their bodies ache. Entrepreneurs work long hours with no guarantee of success. Artists pour themselves into projects without knowing how they will be received. They do this because they understand that comfort is temporary, but the rewards of breaking through it can last a lifetime. To hold on to comfort is to let go of the possibility of greatness. The choice is always there: remain in the safety of what you know, or step into the discomfort that shapes you into the person capable of achieving the dream you desire. Sacrifice is not merely giving something up. It is the conscious decision to exchange what you have now for what you want most. When you truly understand this, you stop seeing sacrifice as a loss and start viewing it as an investment. Every hour you spend working toward your dream, every moment you resist the pull of distraction, every resource you put into building your future is a deposit into the account of your destiny. The returns on these investments are not immediate, and that is why so many give up too soon. But just as money invested wisely grows over time, so does the effort, discipline, and focus you pour into your goal. People often see sacrifice as deprivation, as though it strips life of joy, but in truth it is the most strategic and empowering choice you can make. It is the act of deliberately trading something of lesser value now for something of far greater value later. If you choose to spend your evenings studying instead of watching television, you are not missing out. You are buying knowledge, skills, and opportunities that will serve you for years to come. If you choose to save and invest money instead of indulging in every impulse, you are purchasing financial freedom and security for the future. These trades require discipline, but they also carry the quiet satisfaction of knowing you are building something meaningful. This perspective shift is essential because without it, sacrifice feels like punishment. You begin to resent the time, energy, and focus it takes to reach your goals. But when you see it as an investment, you take pride in every decision to say no to something easy in order to say yes to something greater. You recognize that every early morning, every late night, every missed comfort is a brick in the foundation of your dream. The more bricks you lay, the stronger and closer that dream becomes. The world often rewards those who are willing to wait, and sacrifice is the training ground for patience. It forces you to think long-term, to stop chasing fleeting pleasure and start building lasting results. This is why sacrifice separates the dreamers from the achievers. Dreamers want the reward without the work, while achievers accept that every great gain comes at a cost. They do not flinch at this truth. They embrace it, knowing it is the very thing that will set them apart from the masses. When you begin to see sacrifice as the currency of success, you no longer hesitate to pay the price. You understand that the value of your future far exceeds the value of your present comfort. The more you invest in your dream through consistent sacrifice, the more inevitable its achievement becomes, because each deliberate choice moves you closer to the life you have envisioned and further away from the life you are leaving behind. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and distractions are the cracks that weaken that bridge. In a world overflowing with noise, entertainment, and constant demands on your attention, the ability to choose discipline over distraction is one of the rarest and most valuable skills you can develop. Every time you allow yourself to be pulled away from your goal by something that does not serve it, you delay your progress. Distractions may feel harmless in the moment, but over time they steal your most precious resources: time, energy, and focus. Once these are gone, you cannot get them back, and the dream you envisioned remains just that, a vision instead of a reality. Choosing discipline means making a conscious decision to stay committed to what matters most, even when there are easier, more tempting options around you. It means setting boundaries with yourself and with others, saying no to activities that drain your energy or take you off course, and refusing to let short-term pleasures rob you of long-term success. It is the act of showing up for your dream every single day, whether or not you feel motivated, whether or not the conditions are perfect, and whether or not anyone else believes in what you are doing. Discipline is not built in grand moments. It is built in the small, consistent choices you make hour by hour. Distractions are dangerous because they rarely announce themselves as threats. They disguise themselves as harmless breaks, necessary conversations, or harmless entertainment. You tell yourself you will just check your phone for a moment, watch one episode, or take one night off, but soon those moments add up, and the momentum you worked so hard to build begins to fade. A distracted mind cannot produce extraordinary results because big dreams require sustained focus. Without discipline, you will find yourself constantly starting over, making progress and then losing it, never truly breaking through to the next level. The people who achieve great things are not those who never face distractions. They are those who master the art of resisting them. They create environments that support focus. They plan their time with intention, and they guard their attention as fiercely as they would guard their most valuable possession. They understand that the world will not always make it easy to stay focused, so they take responsibility for managing themselves. This self-management becomes a form of power, because once you can control your attention, you can control your direction in life. Discipline is the daily decision to prioritize what you want most over what you want now. It is the refusal to let fleeting impulses dictate your future. The more you strengthen this muscle, the less appealing distractions become, and the more unstoppable your momentum grows. With discipline as your foundation, you are able to channel every ounce of energy into the actions that move you closer to your dream, ensuring that nothing and no one can pull you away from the path you have chosen. Letting go of limiting habits is one of the most crucial steps in moving toward a big dream. You cannot carry the weight of behaviors, thoughts, and patterns that hold you back and still expect to reach new heights. Every habit you have is either working for you or working against you, and the ones that work against you quietly drain your potential. They may feel comfortable because they are familiar, but comfort is often the disguise of stagnation. If you want something extraordinary, you must be willing to release the ordinary routines that keep you tied to where you are. Limiting habits can take many forms: procrastination, self-doubt, overindulgence in distractions, avoiding challenges, or relying too heavily on the approval of others. These habits are not just small inconveniences, they are roadblocks. They consume time, waste energy, and weaken focus. They become part of your identity if you allow them to stay too long, making you believe this is simply who you are. But identity is not fixed. The moment you decide to break free from these patterns, you open the door to becoming someone new, someone capable of achieving what once seemed impossible. Letting go is not easy, because habits are often deeply ingrained. They are built through repetition, reinforced by environment, and protected by comfort. To change them, you must first become aware of them. You have to step back and honestly evaluate your daily actions, asking yourself which ones align with your vision and which ones do not. This level of honesty can be uncomfortable because it forces you to admit that some of your current behaviors are incompatible with the future you want. But without this awareness, change is impossible. Once you have identified the habits that must go, the next step is replacing them with behaviors that move you forward. You cannot simply eliminate a habit and leave a void. Nature offers a vacuum, and so does your mind. If you remove a destructive habit without replacing it, the old one will likely return. Instead, replace procrastination with consistent action. Replace negative self-talk with affirmations of possibility. Replace mindless scrolling with intentional learning. And replace seeking external validation with building internal confidence. Over time, these new habits will begin to define you just as the old ones once did, but now they will be aligned with your highest goals. Letting go of limiting habits also means being willing to outgrow certain environments and even certain relationships. Sometimes the people around you, intentionally or not, reinforce the very patterns you are trying to break. They may be comfortable with the old version of you and resist your growth. In these moments, you must decide whether your dream matters more than their approval. This is not about arrogance. It is about alignment. Your time, energy, and focus are precious, and anything that encourages habits that limit you is a cost you cannot afford to pay. The act of releasing what holds you back is both liberating and empowering. Each habit you shed makes you lighter, faster, and more capable of moving toward your dream. The more you let go, the more space you create for the person you are becoming, and the more unstoppable your progress becomes. The journey toward a big dream will never be free of trials. The world will test you, not out of cruelty, but to measure the strength of your desire. Challenges, setbacks, and unexpected obstacles are part of the process, and they serve as the proving ground for your commitment. Anyone can say they want something when the path is smooth, but the true measure of desire is how you respond when the path becomes steep and filled with obstacles. These moments of difficulty are not signs that you are failing. They are signs that you are in the arena where growth happens. Every test you face is an opportunity to refine yourself, to sharpen your skills, and to deepen your resilience. When you encounter resistance, you are forced to push harder, think smarter, and act with greater determination. Without these trials, you would remain untested, and your dream would remain unearned. The world does not hand great rewards to those who are unprepared to handle them, and these challenges are the training that ensures you are ready for the success you seek. Tests come in many forms. Sometimes they arrive as failure, when your effort produces results far smaller than you hoped. Sometimes they come as delays, when progress seems frozen despite all your hard work. Other times they show up as criticism, rejection, or the indifference of others. Each of these experiences tempts you to quit, to convince yourself that maybe the dream was too big, too unrealistic, or too costly. This is the moment where many turn back, not realizing they were on the verge of a breakthrough. To pass these tests, you must remember that every obstacle is temporary. It may slow you, it may demand more from you, but it cannot stop you unless you allow it to. This is why persistence is so powerful. It transforms tests from roadblocks into stepping stones. The person who refuses to quit, no matter how many times they are knocked down, is the person who eventually reaches the goal. Each time you rise after a setback, you are not returning to where you were. You are returning stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. The world's tests are not just about the dream itself. They are about the person you must become to achieve it. If your dream is big, it will require you to grow into someone with more courage, more discipline, and more resilience than you have right now. The challenges are what shape you into that person. When you understand this, you stop fearing the tests and start respecting them as necessary parts of your journey. They are not there to push you away from your dream. They are there to prepare you for the moment when your dream finally becomes reality. Trading short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment is one of the most difficult yet rewarding choices you will ever make on the path to your dreams. The world is full of immediate gratifications, comforts and pleasures that offer a quick rush of satisfaction, but do nothing to move you closer to your ultimate goal. They call for your attention constantly, promising ease and enjoyment in the moment, yet they quietly steal the time, focus, and energy you need for the work that leads to something lasting. Choosing long-term fulfillment requires discipline, vision, and the ability to see beyond the moment in front of you to the future you are building. Short-term pleasure is seductive because it feels effortless. It asks nothing of you except that you give in to it right now. Whether it is mindless entertainment, unnecessary spending, or avoiding a difficult task, the appeal is always the same: comfort without cost. But what it does not show you is the hidden price, the delay of your progress, the erosion of your habits, and the weakening of your resolve. Every time you choose the immediate reward over the important work, you reinforce the habit of seeking the easy way instead of the meaningful way. Long-term fulfillment, on the other hand, demands sacrifice in the present. It asks you to give up ease for effort, distraction for focus, and comfort for growth. It requires you to think beyond today and consider the life you want to live years from now. This choice is not always enjoyable in the moment. It often feels like you are missing out, while others around you seem to be enjoying themselves without a care. But what you are really doing is investing in something greater, something that will far outweigh the temporary pleasure you passed up. This trade is the defining difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who settle for mediocrity. The ones who succeed understand that short-term sacrifices compound into long-term rewards. They are willing to put in the extra hours, to stay disciplined when distractions call, and to endure the temporary discomfort that comes with building something worthwhile. Over time, this consistent choice to prioritize the future over the moment creates results that others can only envy. There is a unique satisfaction that comes from long-term fulfillment, a sense of deep pride in knowing you earned what you have. Unlike the fleeting rush of short-term pleasure, fulfillment lingers. It strengthens your identity and fuels your confidence because you know you were willing to delay gratification and stay committed to your vision. The same people who once seemed ahead of you because they chased immediate comfort will eventually look to you as an example of what persistence and patience can achieve. Trading short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment is one of the most difficult yet rewarding choices you will ever make on the path to your dreams. The world is full of immediate gratifications, comforts and pleasures that offer a quick rush of satisfaction, but do nothing to move you closer to your ultimate goal. They call for your attention constantly, promising ease and enjoyment in the moment, yet they quietly steal the time, focus, and energy you need for the work that leads to something lasting. Choosing long-term fulfillment requires discipline, vision, and the ability to see beyond the moment in front of you to the future you are building. Short-term pleasure is seductive because it feels effortless. It asks nothing of you except that you give in to it right now. Whether it is mindless entertainment, unnecessary spending, or avoiding a difficult task, the appeal is always the same: comfort without cost. But what it does not show you is the hidden price, the delay of your progress, the erosion of your habits, and the weakening of your resolve. Every time you choose the immediate reward over the important work, you reinforce the habit of seeking the easy way instead of the meaningful way. Long-term fulfillment, on the other hand, demands sacrifice in the present. It asks you to give up ease for effort, distraction for focus, and comfort for growth. It requires you to think beyond today and consider the life you want to live years from now. This choice is not always enjoyable in the moment. It often feels like you are missing out, while others around you seem to be enjoying themselves without a care. But what you are really doing is investing in something greater, something that will far outweigh the temporary pleasure you passed up. This trade is the defining difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who settle for mediocrity. The ones who succeed understand that short-term sacrifices compound into long-term rewards. They are willing to put in the extra hours, to stay disciplined when distractions call, and to endure the temporary discomfort that comes with building something worthwhile. Over time, this consistent choice to prioritize the future over the moment creates results that others can only envy. There is a unique satisfaction that comes from long-term fulfillment, a sense of deep pride in knowing you earned what you have. Unlike the fleeting rush of short-term pleasure, fulfillment lingers. It strengthens your identity and fuels your confidence because you know you were willing to delay gratification and stay committed to your vision. The same people who once seemed ahead of you because they chased immediate comfort will eventually look to you as an example of what persistence and patience can achieve. The ability to trade short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Each time you choose to do the hard thing now in service of the life you want later, you make it easier to make that choice again. And over time, those choices shape not just your results, but the person you become in the process. The ability to trade short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Each time you choose to do the hard thing now in service of the life you want later, you make it easier to make that choice again. And over time, those choices shape not just your results, but the person you become in the process. Small sacrifices create small results. And if your dream is truly big, the price you must pay will match its size. The scale of your commitment must rise to meet the scale of your vision. Too many people set massive goals but make only minimal adjustments to their habits and lifestyle, expecting grand rewards from small efforts. The truth is, you cannot put in the work of someone chasing a modest dream and expect the outcome of someone chasing greatness. Big dreams demand more time, more focus, more energy, and more willingness to let go of what is comfortable or convenient. When you aim for something extraordinary, you step into territory where average effort is not enough. You will have to give more than those who are content with ordinary results. That might mean working longer hours, learning skills that challenge you, or dedicating entire seasons of your life to disciplined, focused effort. It will often require saying no to things that others see as normal, social events, entertainment, and even opportunities that are good but not aligned with your ultimate goal. This is not because those things are bad, but because they are distractions from the level of sacrifice your dream demands. The size of your sacrifice is a reflection of how seriously you take your dream. If you are only willing to give a little, you are telling yourself and the world that your dream matters only a little. But when you are willing to give a lot, to rearrange your priorities and devote your best hours to your vision, you create momentum that sets you apart from the majority. Most people will not go this far, which is why most people never reach the heights they imagine. It is important to recognize that the sacrifices you make are not just about what you give up. They are about what you gain in return. Every hour you choose to invest in building your dream rather than indulging in momentary pleasures adds to the foundation of your future. The bigger the sacrifice, the more solid and unshakable that foundation becomes. While others are busy avoiding discomfort, you are using it to build strength, discipline, and resilience, qualities that will carry you through the toughest phases of your journey. There will be moments when the weight of the sacrifice feels heavy. You may question whether it is worth it, especially when results are slow to appear. But this is when you must remind yourself that big dreams are marathons, not sprints. The greater the destination, the longer and more demanding the road. If you keep paying the price, no matter how steep, you will eventually reach a place where the sacrifice feels small compared to the life you have created. The path may be hard, but it is only through giving greatly that you can ever hope to gain greatly. Respecting the process of sacrifice means shifting the way you see the challenges, trade-offs, and discomforts that come with pursuing something extraordinary. Too often, people resent the effort it takes to achieve a dream, treating sacrifice as a burden or punishment. But sacrifice is not there to take something from you. It is there to prepare you, to strengthen you, and to ensure that when you finally reach your goal, you are ready to handle it. When you see sacrifice as an enemy, it becomes harder to sustain the discipline needed to keep going. When you see it as a necessary and valuable part of the journey, it becomes easier to endure and even embrace. Every sacrifice you make is a sign that you are moving forward. Waking up early to work on your vision, choosing to learn instead of wasting time, pushing through fatigue instead of quitting. These are all proofs that you value your future more than your immediate comfort. They are physical evidence of your commitment, and each one brings you closer to the life you are building. Respecting the process means recognizing that without these sacrifices, your dream would remain a wish with no real path to fulfillment. The process of sacrifice also shapes your character. It teaches you patience, persistence, and the ability to delay gratification, traits that not only help you achieve your goal, but also sustain your success once you get there. Without these traits, even if you were handed everything you wanted, you would struggle to keep it. This is why the journey is as important as the destination. The sacrifices are not wasted energy. They are the training ground for the person you need to become. It is natural to feel moments of frustration when progress seems slow, but respecting the process means understanding that growth is rarely instant. Just like a seed must remain in the soil for a season before breaking through the surface. Your efforts may be hidden for a time before they begin to show visible results. This unseen phase is where many people give up, thinking their sacrifices are not paying off. But in reality, it is often the final stretch before the breakthrough. Trusting the process allows you to keep going even when the evidence is not yet visible. When you learn to value the process, every sacrifice becomes meaningful. You stop focusing on what you are losing and start focusing on what you are gaining. You see each challenge as an opportunity to get stronger, each setback as a lesson, and each small win as proof that you are moving in the right direction. This perspective not only keeps you motivated, but also makes the journey more fulfilling. Your effort is the currency with which you purchase your dreams. Every action you take, every ounce of energy you invest, every moment you devote to your goal is part of the payment that brings your vision closer to reality. Just as you cannot buy something without offering value in return, you cannot expect a dream to manifest without the exchange of your time, focus, and hard work. The scale of your effort determines the size of your reward and the more valuable the dream, the higher the price you must be willing to pay. Effort is not a one-time payment. It is an ongoing commitment, a steady flow of energy that you must be prepared to give day after day. Big dreams are not purchased in a single transaction. They are bought in installments, each one made through consistent, purposeful action. The mistake many people make is thinking that a burst of effort for a short period will be enough to secure a lifelong goal. In reality, sustained effort is the only way to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Every step you take toward your dream is like adding coins to a jar. At first, it seems small, almost insignificant. You may feel like your contributions are not making a difference, especially when progress is not immediately visible. But over time, those coins accumulate, and the jar begins to fill. The breakthrough comes to those who keep adding to it, even when the jar still looks empty. This is why persistence and patience are inseparable from effort. Without them, you will stop paying before the price is met, and the dream will remain out of reach. The currency of effort is also unique in that it compounds over time. The skills you build, the discipline you develop, and the resilience you gain from consistent work all multiply your ability to achieve. What once took you hours begins to take minutes. What once felt impossible becomes routine, and the momentum you build starts working in your favor. This compounding effect is one of the greatest rewards of sustained effort. It not only gets you closer to your dream, but also transforms you into someone more capable and confident. It is also important to recognize that effort must be directed, not just exerted. You can work hard in the wrong direction and still end up far from your destination. Strategic effort, action that is aligned with your vision and purpose, is what accelerates progress. This means taking the time to clarify your goal, break it into actionable steps, and ensure that your energy is being spent on what truly matters. Every payment of effort should bring you closer to the outcome you want, not simply exhaust you without moving you forward. There will be times when the cost feels high. You may be tired, discouraged, or tempted to slow down. But if you view your effort as the price of admission to the life you want, you will understand that each moment of work is a necessary part of the transaction. The dream does not owe you anything. It must be earned. And the only way to earn it is to keep paying, keep showing up, and keep giving your best until the balance is paid in full. When the day comes that your dream becomes reality, you will know exactly why the price was worth it. You will see that every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice, and every push forward was not just effort. It was an investment in the future you always imagined. The process of sacrifice is the bridge between your current reality and your future vision. If you try to skip it, you will find yourself unprepared for the demands of success. But if you respect it, if you honor the discipline, patience, and effort it requires, you will not only reach your goal, but also possess the strength and wisdom to protect and grow it once it is yours. Big dreams are never won by chance. They are earned through the choices you make, the comfort you give up, and the persistence you refuse to abandon. Every sacrifice you make is a step closer to the life you envision, and every moment of discipline builds the foundation for your success. The journey will test you, challenge you, and demand more than you think you can give. But when you finally stand in the reality you once only imagined, you will know without a doubt it was worth every single sacrifice.